So our migration is now complete. In previous some of video that we have completed all the migration, and this time we are going to now create a business logic that will be required in our application, which is to create the model to our company, category, period, and user details, so budget and expenses. So you have to in your terminal and the source directory where we are right in our source directory. So to create our model for business logic, first one that we are going to create is a company. So PHP artisan make model, and model name will be a singular version of our migration. So in the migration, we have a table companies and the model will be a company. So PHP artisan make model company, hit enter and see a model is created. And also we have to set its fillables. So to avoid the method sign exception, so we have to give the fillables table name and the field. So protected and the table name table will be our string companies and statement, and the protected. So protected we use to only this directory. It will safeguard our table and its column. So protected fillable, and it will be array. So in our companies we have a user ID. User ID is getting from a user table for our foreign relation, and we have to give another name which is the name of the company. So save it. So fillable user ID, name and company. And let's jump to our head over to our terminal and create a model for PHP artisan make model. And this time we will create a model for our category. So category tables, and the singular version of the categories table will be a category. So category and hit enter. So just jump to our editor and in our model. So let's copy these two protected field from here and save it in a model category. Save it. So this time table is categories, and the fillable field will be a user ID, company ID, and third one will be name, name of your category, or you may call it department. So save it. Okay, and let's close it. And the third one, let's clear this screen, and we will require a model for our period. So you know the period we will make a quarterly, yearly, you may call it a weekly. So PHP artisan make model for period. A singular version of period will be a single period. Hit enter. So see period model is created, and we need our put. So in a period we need this model will use the table periods. It will be a protected, and this model the fillable fields in our period is user ID, company ID, from and to. Okay, save it, and let's head over to our terminal again, and we will now create a model for our user detail data. User detail if I go to our database in user details, so the admin can create a user, any user. So we'll also need a model for that. So PHP artisan make model user detail and hit enter. It has been created. So user detail, the field table that we will use in our user detail is the user details, and the fillable fields. So table is user details. So this model will use the user detail table and the protected fillable fields, user ID, company ID, and also the category ID, as we can see in our database. So category ID and company ID and user ID. Okay, two model required for budget and expense. So quickly create this model PHP artisan make model budget budget model. So budget model is created. Let's create for expense PHP artisan make model expense. So single version of expenses is expense. So let's jump to our editor, and we now can see a budget model. So here we will create our table that will use this model, also the fillable fields that will be required in this model. So table is budgets, and the fillable fields user ID, company ID, category ID, and period ID, item, unit, quantity, budget. Also we can see it in our database. So if I go to a budgets, and here user ID, company, and these are the fillables item, unit, quantity, budget. So why we are creating the fillable? Because we do not want math assign a section when we use the method create method of helper method to create a data in your database. Okay, save it and close all the models, and the only one next expense is remaining to create a table and the fillable fields. So table, this model will use expenses table, and the fillable field is the company ID, user ID, budget ID, approver ID, the approver that will approve the expense, and the priority of the expense, what it is. And we have detailed discussion in when the migration, excuse me, and outside the budget remaining subject, description, file status, and comments. So it is created. Model is created and fillable fields all this set in some next videos. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in next lecture to create the controller for all the models that we have. Stay tuned.